All right, turning now to our next guest, comedian Hannah Gadsby. Gadsby became a household name after the release of their groundbreaking comedy special, Nanette. That was back in 2018. That Netflix special earned them a Peabody Award and a Primetime Emmy Award. Now they're back with their third Netflix special called Hannah Gadsby, Something Special. In it, they discuss getting married, living with autism, and also share some pretty funny family stories. Take a look.
I remember when my mum got her first ever pair of false teeth. It was a very unsettling time of my life. I was a teenager, and when she got them, they were too big, right? And for whatever reason, she just didn't get them tightened up for a good couple of years. So they just rattled around. So whenever she became animated, the top rack would drop down and just completely transform her face. Like, she would be angry, and then she'd break out in a big, beautiful smile. She'd be like, well, you can leave home if you like. You're not welcome here.
Hannah Gadsby joins us now. Good morning, Hannah. That was hilarious. I watched this special this past week and could not stop laughing. And, you know, I want to ask you this. It's a different tone than your previous specials. You said that you've dragged audiences through all your stuff, as you put it, for many years now, and this is the payoff.
Yeah, you know, I play the long game. You get it?
Yeah.
So I just, I wanted to show, like, Nanette, my first special on Netflix was hard, talking about a bit of trauma. Want to see that there's another side of it. Surprise people. And, you know, sometimes I feel like in today's climate, there's a lot of anti-LGBTQ sentiment in the world, and I feel like I'd like to create a show where my people just have a nice time.
And so this was a romantic comedy of sorts.
Well, yeah, go for it. Yeah, go.
Yeah, and you were saying that in kind of putting a little message out to the world, this also relates to your own love story. And tell us a little bit about this wedding cake that you got.
Well, we had trouble. There's a lot of decisions. I don't know if you've heard of marriage, but there's a lot of decisions involved. And we got decision fatigue very quickly because neither of us had thought about weddings. And then we came up with an idea of just like, what do you want? And instead of a list, it's the first thing you thought. So where should we get married? It's like, under that tree. And then what sort of cake would you like? And I said, I want a shark cake. So then we
For your wedding cake?
Yes, with a shark, and we got a Christian baker to make it so that they didn't know it was a wedding cake, but we did. We feel very clever.
It's a feel-good special, but you don't specify who's going to feel good.
No, Christian bakers will feel terrible. But they're artists, you know.
Now, you mentioned rhetoric surrounding the LGBTQ plus community. And I remember when Dave Chappelle had some jokes about the trans community, you came out and spoke to Netflix and the CEO of Netflix and wanted to make sure that voices were heard. So much so you signed a multi-year deal with them. Why was it important for you to make that statement and then say, I want to change the perspective as a stand-up comedian?
Well, you know, I'm a big believer in freedom of speech. So, you know, you use speech to say something else as opposed to circling what's already being said. So to change the conversation, you know, I wanted to just, you know, help lift up newer comedians. It's, you know, getting that lift out of up into a next level of comedy is quite difficult. So I want to retire soon. I'm getting old.
Retire soon?
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know how you get up every day. You're
at the top of your game now.
That's when you leave. You leave them wanting more, I've heard.
Well, you also don't shy away from controversial topics in any kind of way.
Yeah, I probably should, though. You know, I feel like
your agent says it's okay, just keep going. But let me ask you this. So you're also in town right now in New York because you have a pretty special exhibit that's opening later this week. And it's about Pablo Picasso, who you've railed against in the past. So now you're curating an exhibit dedicated to him. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, it's his 50th anniversary of his death, so I think that's worth celebrating. But the Picasso Museum in Paris is, you know, coordinated with museums all around the world to celebrate his legacy. And so the Brooklyn Museum reached out to me and said, do you want to complicate that legacy with us? And I said, I sure would. So it's opening end of this week, and it's a feminist perspective, so we're including a lot of works by feminists to sort of, minimise him. He'll survive. I don't feel like Picasso's gonna... He's
disappear
dead.
Anytime soon.
Well, he's dead, so his feelings can't technically be hurt, so I'm not terribly sad for him, but we just wanted to shake the conversation up a little bit.
In the list of top 3 questions comedians hate the most and find annoying, this next one's probably on there.
What do you got,
I'm
Tom?
glad you're asking.
Yeah, so I'm going with it.
Yeah.
What is the secret to making people laugh?
Ooh.
Oh, not this.
Yeah, no, I know.
Early mornings. This is the death of comedy. I mean,
We like to think we're pretty funny.
you are, but for my recipe that requires people to be drunk. I'm sure there's a few people. Hello.
Definitely.
We spot them all.
Some of our viewers are just waking up on the couch from the night before.
Yeah, well,
so
where do you think I came from? So it's a weird... I don't know all the time why people laugh at me, but I just keep repeating it. That's you wait. When people laugh, you work out why they laughed and then keep doing it.
Sometimes your jokes are not even jokes, they're just beautiful and phrases that make you laugh for days on end. Like a perineum of time. It's not the destination, but it's kind of fun to be there. I feel that way about this interview.
This interview is not the destination.
Well,
this is
the job goes on from here.
We're not going to unpack this.
No, let's leave it there.
Let's just have a very happy memory of this conversation.
Yeah.
This was pleasant, and this was wonderful.
Pleasant. Pleasant to you too, Nancy.
Wonderful, Hannah
flirting.
Gadsby. Thank you very much for joining us. And you can watch Hannah Gadsby Something Special now on Netflix.